Welcome to Inquiry Theory. I'm Micah.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're doing a Trading Tangents today.
Yay.
Yeah, fun stuff. You know, where have we been? Radio silent, coming out of the dark with a Trading Tangent.
Yeah.
Why Trading Tangent, Ethan? Because we don't have to do anything. We can just talk.
Yeah, because it's easy and it's fun and
easy.
And yeah.
And we were thinking about doing a couple Navigate the Noises because there's some interesting stuff going on in the news. But with how much it is and all that stuff, I thought it'd be more fun just to have a no time limit, just kind of talk about whatever, you know, no structure.
Yeah.
I get sometimes with those Navigate the Noises, I'm like, man, I got to talk about this. We got to do it in this line, this bullet point. Now it's like I can talk about it however we want.
Yeah, I get nervous when I have to follow instructions. So I feel like I'm going to mess it up.
Ethan's got cue cards, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. Those don't help anyway.
Nope. So I really want to start off with, we've posted a couple interviews, a couple pretty good interviews out there. We got more on the way. So, I'm going to plug our own show within our show plugception while Ethan changes the mic. I'm going to leave that in. That's fun. We're about fun here. We're about having fun here. So Ethan's already getting casual. We're
getting
good.
Comfortable.
So yeah, a couple things I want to talk about. You know how, I don't know if I posted this one, but a while back we were talking about RFK Jr. and how we wanted to he needed to do something, right?
Yeah, I feel like it was like super big that he became like a cabinet member and then he just kind of like fell off the map.
Yeah.
And what's he doing?
Yeah. What's he doing?
Like, where you at, bro?
He heard us.
Totally. Apparently he did.
Yeah, he heard us. So yeah, there's a lot with RFK Jr. I kind of want to talk about. Quite a bit going on. So cool stuff. So first things first, I don't know. Do we do chronologically? Do we do like impact one? Like which one?
Well, I don't even know the chronological order of anything. I just
all right. Well, let's just get the one that's probably gonna get more flack out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
RFK Jr. hates autistic people. Clip that.
No. Cancel us for that.
No. That is not at all. That's what some news is portraying. They portray him like that, but no, what's actually going on? So, Ethan, I don't think you've heard much about it. You've literally only heard the narrative that like
I don't know any details. I've heard what some people are saying. I've heard other people's responses to that. Yeah.
So I looked into it a little bit because there's one I wanted to do for a Navigate the Noise. So I read a couple articles. You know, we were going to record about it, and then I just decided it'd be more fun to just set in this setting, just talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, first things first. RFK Jr. has started to kind of like open up investigations, studies into not investigations. They're not no criminal, nothing like that, but like studies into potential external environmental risk factors for autism.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
I mean, off the top, right there, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
You know, why would you not want to ask questions about that?
Right.
Like, because he got flack for that because they were like, we already know what causes autism. We already know all the solutions, and you're crazy anti-vaxxer and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, first off, in this whole thing, he never said anything about vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
He just said environmental risk factors.
Right.
So I'm thinking immediately pollution. I'm thinking air quality. I'm thinking pesticides, stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm like, why you just immediately jump on the anti-vax thing because he said some negative things about vaccines in the past? Like, it's not what he's focusing on. So second, why can't we ask questions?
Right.
Why can't we do studies?
Yeah. Like, isn't that what we want to do?
Yeah.
You know, worth anything?
Right?
You know,
like we're like,
dang, he's not. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know. Isaac Newton's over here.
Is it like he's getting a lot of flack, or is it?
He's getting some from like MSNBC and like the mainstream news, especially left-wing news.
So there's like a narrative against it.
Yeah, the narrative is like in his speech, he mentioned that like I think part of the quote was like, and these people they're so the people with autism are some of them are low. So I don't know it off the top of my head the quote, but I know what they're complaining about, and he said that they don't pay taxes. Because they'll never hold a job.
Oh, no, I heard that. Own. Yeah, he said these people, he said, that was like mixed with other things. He said some of them will never pay taxes. They'll never he said write a poem was one of them. He said go on a date was one of them. Yeah. Like it was a bunch of things.
Clearly he's never seen Love on the Spectrum. I have to watch that because Leah loves that show.
Eliza talks about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like I've never watched it. I don't know if she's ever watched it either. But
Leah's like, up to date with it.
It comes up on like her feeds, I guess.
Before everyone goes, why don't you like autism people finding love? It's not that. It's trash TV in general. Like these dating shows. I don't care. I don't
like any reality dating show.
It is more wholesome than like other crap that she watches. So
it's not better or worse than The Bachelorette.
It's better. I would say it's better.
Okay, well,
I've been forced to watch.
That's
both.
Your opinion.
It is my opinion, and I'm going to say it's fact. So factually true.
But it's another one of those dating shows, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Just has autistic people in it.
Yeah,
The Bachelorette just has
douchebags in it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, so RFK Jr. kind of made some comments, and they focused on the wrong thing of the comments, of course, because they're trying to paint him in certain light, and whatever. I don't know. I think it's a decent enough question. Like, why can't we investigate into why autism rates have increased? So let me premise it with yes. He mentioned that autism rates have increased, and this is where I started doing a bunch of digging for Navigate the Noise episode. Because I was like, I want to actually know, because you've got one group over here that says autism rates are increasing, and then you got the other group going, yeah, because they just increased expanded the definition. So it's like, hey, that makes sense. Is that true?
Right.
So I was kind of like doing some digging into that. So get ready for my soapbox. Let me do a little.
And he's a soapbox hero.
Get my notes here I took on autism, my autobiography.
Okay. That's your autobiography. Not there's anything wrong with the autobiography of.
So anyway, my notes here. Why am I lying to you? It's blank. I didn't actually take notes, but I did do some digging. And yes, so a couple of different things. I'll try to keep this as short and like concise as possible, not get lost in the weeds of this, because it's easy to do. But basically, yes, autism rates have been increasing. I'm going to start at 2000 because that's kind of like where most of the studies I saw started. There are ones older that, like, because RFK Jr. is always commenting about like in the 70s and 80s and autism rates back then. But like 2000 is where it's like, I trust 2000 onward, the rates.
Okay.
So in 2000, it was 1 in 150 had autism. And they did it every 2 years. And they were testing 8-year-olds, basically. Whoever was 8 at that time, they were checking autism rates, 1 in 150. The next year, it was 1 in 150. So in 2 years, it didn't increase. Then you start seeing an incremental increase every 2 years. So I then, my whole method here was, I looked to see where the biggest jump was in terms of like, what year did it increase the most? Because my assumption was whenever they reevaluated and changed the definition of autism to be a blanket term, that's probably where we're going to see the biggest jump. So, I mean that kind of makes sense, right?
That's logical.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I should have saved the numbers. I didn't save the exact numbers, but it's increasing all the way up to what it is today, which is considered about 1 in 33 today rates of autism.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's really jumped up in the past 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2013 is when they did the DSM-5, which then changed the definition of autism to also include like Asperger's, autism, some, I believe, there was another one too, another big one, but like some big ones, and then also like kind of introduced as like a spectrum. And the jump between 2012 and 2014, it was like one in I think it was 1 in 59 to like 1 in 48. So like it changed that much. Changed from being 1 in 59 in 2012 to like 1 in 48. Not exactly, but like a difference of like 10 jump, like 10. So I was like, okay. The biggest jump was actually down in like 2006, 2008, somewhere in there, where it jumped from like because it went from like 1 in 150 to 1 in 125. And then 1 in 125 to like 1 in 114, and then 1 in 114 to like 1 in 90 something. So like bigger jumps happen down here without the definition change.
What if it's the cell phones?
Could be. I mean, I don't know. What is it? The RMF radiation or something? Like all that. I don't know. Maybe. But basically what I'm saying is it didn't change in that range I expected it to. I expected it to change between
When they-
2012 to 2014 the most.
When they expanded the
The definition.
the
So,
definition. Yeah.
that one, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, that's probably part of the reason why it's increased, but it's been increasing besides that definition change. So I don't know why we can't investigate that.
Yeah.
So another fun fact, I went down another rabbit hole.
Mhm.
I looked at environmental factors.
We like rabbits.
We do.
Well, we like their holes.
Clip that. PETA is going to get involved now. Jeez, Ethan. Furry confirmed.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
Anyways,
jeez.
I did it. Yeah. And that just came to me, folks. You heard it here first.
Yeah, he just had an epiphany.
Yeah, an epiphany.
So, yeah. Basically, I just decided to look at what environmental factors could be playing a role. What does he consider? And well, first, before I got to the point, is what causes autism? What's the generally accepted definition or what a generally accepted reasoning? And you got some people saying it's genetic. You got some people saying it's other things. The most generally accepted thing is it's a combination of things going on during fetal development.
Well, that's an easy thing to accept. Like, oh yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Like, okay,
yeah, but you can't pinpoint everything.
Well, the genetics doesn't really make sense if it's increasing that much, right?
Yeah, it depends on certain types. So what they were saying is like gene expression, the way that certain genes are expressed. So kind of like, for example, you may have a gene, but it's like like a recessive, like it's not being expressed in your genetics. It's just kind of like a back door gene. It doesn't, but then if it's the gene expression changes, it comes to the front and you got different changes and all sorts. It's super complex stuff. I'm trying to keep it like dumb because I only understand the dumb level of it. So,
Right.
So they agreed that gene expression is a big part of it. So then I started looking at, okay, gene expression, when does this occur? When does gene expression kind of like fetal development is when it's kind of like, that's the most important development of gene expression.
Okay.
So babies in the womb. And I was like, okay, what can alter gene expression in a fetus? Hormonal level changes.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's like drinking and all these things are really detrimental. We know that drinking, smoking also is bad as pregnant, but also giant hormonal shifts can cause issues with fetal development. So it's like, okay, so what is changing these hormone levels? What can do that? So I started looking, what can do that? I found that glyphosate is an endocrine disruptor, which means it affects hormonal levels. Glyphosate, for those of you who don't know what glyphosate was, which was me 1 hour before looking at that, glyphosates are essentially in pesticides.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been countless studies done that show that glyphosate levels in the U.S. have been increasing drastically.
Oh, yeah.
Like just skyrocketing.
Well,
because of food and runoff and pollution and all that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have higher glyphosate levels. So then I drew the connection. I was like, okay, so we've external environmental factor, glyphosate's being sprayed on crops, which are then being consumed by pregnant women, which is already at a higher rate than we know through all these studies that the glyphosate levels have almost doubled in some periods, like huge amounts of glyphosates. That is an endocrine disruptor that disrupts hormonal levels in women. Hormonal levels in women being disrupted causes gene expression to be affected in babies. So there we go. So I'm like, okay, so right there, that to me, from just like 10 minutes of research, to me, showed that maybe there's something to that environmental risk thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So sorry to long-winded discussion there. Call me out on everything I got wrong there, anyone who knows more. But
well, even if you got some specifics wrong, I mean, it still makes me feel like studies aren't necessarily a bad idea.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, why would we not look into that?
Yeah. Why would we not want to know the actual answer? You know what I mean?
Well, we gotta make. Oh, never mind.
No, say it. Go ahead. Say it. I said we like rabbit holes.
It's like we gotta make sure Love on the Spectrum has a 4th season.
Oh.
Gosh.
Do we?
I'm gonna be in trouble for that joke when I get home.
That's all right. I think I made fun of Eliza about not being able to keep track of her money, and I got in trouble for that. So it's okay.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, that whole the whole story going on with like, RFK Jr. is what he's doing. Why I don't even know why there's outrage at just questioning it. Like, why can we not just question it? Like, questions are always good. Something we like to do on the Inquiry Theories, ask questions and kind of go down rabbit holes. I mean, like that's how you discover more things. And yeah, you can be wrong, you can be right, but it's all gaining knowledge.
It's all about asking questions.
So I don't know why we're so against that. So anyway, that's the one thing he's done recently that I've been pretty versed.
Like I don't like I said, I only heard a little bit of it, but I feel like they're trying to paint the picture of him saying derogatory things about like autistic people, right? Which I feel like he's not doing.
Distraction.
Like, yeah, I feel like all he's trying to do is figure out the why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't get why that's. I don't get why the why is so questionable.
Right.
So.
Well, I think part of it is like because it's been made a spectrum. Like there are people who are, fine, who are autistic. Maybe on like the lower side of the spectrum, like they're.
I mean, I've known several throughout my life that are people on the spectrum.
I mean, I work with somebody who has Asperger's. You know what I mean? And like, like she has little quirks, but like she just seems like that's just her. You know what I mean? It's not like she's any different than. I mean, obviously she's different, but everybody's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so, they're making it a bigger deal than it should be. I think.
Yeah, I think they're just attempting to distract. So that's why they're like, he said disparaging things about autism. And it's like,
I mean, no, he didn't. But
yeah, not directly. It's like you just interpreted it like that.
Yeah.
So what else is new? So yeah, that's the one thing I've really seen that that's the first thing that was getting some heat. The second thing that just happened, like 2 days ago. You know about it?
Well, yeah, the dye.
Yeah,
the dyes,
go ahead and lead the.
Well, I don't know like specifics. I don't know which dyes.
What have you heard?
I just know that by 2026, some dyes are going to be like outlawed.
What type of dyes?
I don't know. I'm assuming Red 40 is one of them, but
like
I don't know. Like food dyes. Oh yeah, sorry, food dyes. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I saw those like petroleum-based dyes. So
okay, like I don't know. There's specific ones that are petroleum based.
I think I know Red 40 and I believe Yellow 5.
Because like I know like Red 40 is like they say it causes like ADHD or something like that, or it enhances like ADHD.
Yeah.
How is that any different than figuring out what enhances autism? You know what I mean? Like you're saying everybody with ADHD is.
I knew a guy allergic to red dye 40. Like literally, he
would he die?
He would throw up.
Ew.
Yeah,
I like Takis too much.
Yeah, we went to Spaghetti Warehouse or something, and he got the red sauce, which is stupid. He said I think they messed up his order and he didn't want to send it back. He was hungry, so he ate it.
Tomatoes are dyed.
The red pasta sauce was
No.
Yeah, and we were in the car back and he threw up. We had to open the door and let him out.
And that's like a acidic throw up too.
Yeah, it was not fun. He was miserable.
Ugh.
Skittles, couldn't have red Skittles.
Oh, those are the best ones though.
I know.
That sucks.
Yeah. Kool-Aid, couldn't have Kool-Aid.
Oh, what a tough life.
Yeah.
God.
So, the struggle some of them have.
But what are the health risks of these dyes? Like why are they being
I've seen some of them carcinogenic.
What does that mean?
Cancer rates can increase chance of cancer.
That's what carcinogenic means?
Carcinogens.
No shit.
Yeah. It's like smoking. The smoke is carcinogenic.
Interesting.
So carcinogens are like, I mean, they're particles that increase the risk of cancer. Essentially,
gotcha.
Is a dumbed down.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So it's so they're carcinogens, potential some of them. I don't believe all. Like I said, I don't know the full list. I haven't started digging into it, but I do think I don't understand why when we've got all these other countries that have banned these food dyes and the U.S. is not.
Like, that should be obvious.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see the pushback from these companies because it's like if they come out and if Kellogg's comes out and says like Fruit Loops have to be these vibrant colors, we can't do these offshoot colors or whatever. Like have you seen the picture of like the Canadian Fruit Loops versus the U.S. Fruit Loops?
Mm-mm.
They're side by side, and the Canadian ones are like slightly duller, but like they don't have any of the dyes in them.
Right.
It's like, why can't we just have those? Like, I'm sorry. Like, do I really need a bright red Fruit Loop? Like, they all taste the same. Who cares?
Like,
go on.
Well, we shouldn't be eating Fruit Loops anyway, but
true. Yeah, sugars. Yeah, but the food dye thing, I'm excited to see how that goes.
No, I mean, I feel like that's a good move.
Yeah,
I think it's a good
makes
move.
sense. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why we wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, like the fact that America is pretty unhealthy is a widely accepted fact nowadays, right?
Gosh.
Or opinion at least. So why would we not want to make moves to improve that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like
food dyes. I think is a good step.
50% of kids are overweight or obese.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's all them those Happy Meals, man.
Happy Meals or
and
Fruit Loops
and the dyed tomato sauce.
Yeah.
I did not know people dyed tomato sauce. I thought tomatoes are red to begin with.
I guess I don't know. I feel like we throw food dye in
just everything.
Stuff. Yeah,
just
like they're like
just because.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Which yeah, I don't know. But they that was the one, and then I also saw like I saw this theory. Like I was listening to Joe Rogan, whatever guest was on was talking about the main problem of our health in the U.S. is an insulin. What's the term?
Is it Gary Brecka?
No, it wasn't him.
He touched on insulin a little bit.
Yeah, and it was like an insulin. Not immune to it, but like we're developing a tolerance to insulin. We're having insulin problems, and that's causing a lot of our health issues. It's like we can trace it mostly back to like insulin levels.
Like natural insulin levels? What do you mean?
Yeah, natural insulin levels.
Okay.
Like because we're eating so much sugar, we're eating so much stuff, the body's producing so much insulin, which then our stuff becomes I'm blanking on the term, not like immune to it, but like it takes more, like tolerance, building up a tolerance.
Yeah, okay.
To insulin. So you've got to have more and more insulin. The more insulin you have, the higher risk for diabetes, the higher risk of
makes sense.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like he's like, if we focus on, if there's one thing to focus on in this health aspect, it's insulin levels. So
interesting.
I thought that was cool because I'm like that's pretty smart because I'm worried that we're gonna be trying to like focus on like 5 different issues, and then we can't focus completely on one that we need to, so we're going to get distracted and just stuff's going to fail because too many, spread yourself too thin. So, I think that's got some merit there.
Yeah, I like that. Silver lining to all this, to America being obese and unhealthy, the rest of the world can look at whatever we're doing and not do it.
They're over here like, we do everything the U.S. does except their food.
Save the world by self-destruction.
A case study on what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're the control or whatever.
I think everyone else is the control. We're the test.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like, hey, how fat can we get them? Do any other countries have my 600-pound life?
God, no. I hope not. That would be awful. I cringe every time I see it.
Yeah. I will say they do.
Is it 600 pounds?
Yeah, my 600-pound life.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Yeah, there's some wild ones. Not to disparage.
Not that there's anything wrong with being obese.
No, there is. It's not the person though. It's the weight. No, literally. Like, no, I'm going to stand on this hill. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we need to stop glorifying.
I know. I was hoping it would set you off.
Yeah. It did, because I'm so tired of the fat acceptance movement. It's the stupidest movement.
Oh, it is. No, it's horrible.
I hate that movement.
I've
said it for 10 years. I said it 10 years ago when it started. I was like, this is a stupid movement.
And the only reason that it became a movement is because it started as an attractive versus unattractive thing.
Yes.
Like you're not
and representation.
It's okay to not be conventionally attractive. Like, yes, it is, but it's not okay to be that fat and unhealthy. Like that's literally not okay for you. Like
I shouldn't have to pay for
your health
airplane seats.
Like
I don't know. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't have to. No, you shouldn't have to.
But you do.
Why do you?
I don't want the plane taken off at a 45-degree angle.
Oh, that's funny. I saw this short clip. It was either on Instagram or YouTube of this lady who was venting about having to buy or not being able to fit in her plane seat. I can't believe that's actually like an argument that they have.
Oh, I know.
That's crazy.
So dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, discrimination is not okay, but that's not discrimination. Like, that's just a fact of the matter. Like, you are too large for this seat.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
We're not trying to disparage you. We're not trying to put you down. Like, and that's the thing that always gets me is they're like, this is not inclusive to large people. This is not inclusive. We feel like this. I'm like, whoa, hang on. Why do you feel that way?
So
why does it bother you that you don't fit in one seat? is that you have to buy 2 seats? Is it the fact that you don't fit in 1 seat, and the problem is they're discriminating against you because you have to buy 2? No, it's because you're ashamed of not being able to fit in 1 seat, and you're trying to double down on it.
Well, it's also that they want to be able to travel and they can't afford 2 seats, or they shouldn't have to pay for 2 seats in order to be able to fit on a plane.
They should pay.
Okay. Well,
they should pay.
Well,
if you take up 2 seats, you should pay 2 seats.
Well, yeah, but that's I mean, okay.
I'm just saying, like at a fundamental level, you don't need to be nasty. You don't need to be mean about it. But like,
yeah, no, I mean, you're right. But what if the plane isn't full?
If the plane isn't full,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like what? Like Spirit?
Like what if there are spare seats?
Like Spirit? Like Spirit Airlines, or like Southwest is always full, I feel like.
Well, yeah, probably American Airlines nowadays too. But
I feel like Spirit, you've got bigger problems than taking up 2 seats if you're riding on that.
I don't know. Is that like where they're having all the issues?
Spirit's like the cheapest way to fly.
Really?
Yeah. It's like dirt cheap. And it's like, I don't know if we'll get there.
They're all like the pilots that didn't make it to the other airlines.
The DEI pilots.
Clip that.
I can say it. It's 2025.
I don't know. There's like, do you hear like something going on with Target or something? Like they're talking about like boycotting Target because they withdrew their DEI program or something. Like that's a movement right now.
It's okay. Oh, you got me started again, Ethan. Why'd you do this?
We're trading tangents. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna say this to anyone who thought that companies cared about you, whether you are gay, fat, a woman, black, anything, Christian, if whatever values, if you think a publicly traded company cares, they don't. They don't. They just think they can turn a profit. Like I have no idea where we got this idea that Pride Month, where a company like it's so funny in June to see companies turn their profile pic to the rainbow flag, and then at 12:01 a.m. the next day, boom, it's back to the normal logo.
Right.
Like it's like they don't care about you.
No, they don't.
Like they never have. They just did what they thought was profitable.
Right.
Which I'm not faulting them for that. That's a company, but like, come on, people. They don't care about
the
you.
whole point. But yeah, the what it seems like has happened is people have forgotten about that. Right. They've forgotten that companies really don't care about anything except for money. Yeah. Right. Like people have forgot about the fact that everybody's trying to make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we've become distracted from that. But I was gonna say something else and I forgot what it was, so hopefully I remember. But
get me started on another one. Let's go.
It was before the DEI thing. What were we talking about?
Spirit Airlines.
We're talking about fat people.
Yeah.
Obese people. Sorry, clip that. Is that like a new cancel me for that type thing?
Saying obese or fat?
No, saying clip that. What does that mean?
Clip that? Yeah, like chat clip that. Like take a clip of it and then I think it's like a streaming thing.
And say nasty comments about it or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I forget. My mind blanked.
Yeah, well, once again, I will say this. I am excited to see that we've got RFK Jr. to potentially be bringing back more healthy standards for stuff. So,
yeah.
I'm skeptical. I'm a little skeptical because it's going to be there's a lot that needs to be done. But
that's as long as we're heading in that direction, though.
Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone recently, and I was like, dude, I don't like if they can only succeed in one thing, like this administration, I want them to stop the revolving door that is the FDA to pharmaceutical companies. Like you work as an exec for the FDA, high up, making legislation, laws, rules, regulations, whatever, and then the second you retire, you're picked up by some major pharmaceutical company and work on their board or something. It's like I'm so tired of that.
Yeah, that's kind of a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, and it's like.
But I mean, all that stuff's rampant. Like
it's so bad. So
there's conflicts of interest everywhere.
Yeah,
like everybody's a hypocrite.
Yeah. But like I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, whoever can get that done, I will be like, let's go.
Yeah. Like what I hope doesn't happen is we've touched on it in previous episodes is the pendulum swinging too far. Like I hope like sometime soon it stops swinging to the extreme so much.
Yeah, it's we already hit that with the the legislation being the one senator I think in Texas who was trying to get pass legislation to get Trump to run for a third term or something.
Well, right,
I was
but
like, come on.
but it's if it got shut down, then we stopped the pendulum from swinging.
I don't know where it's at right now. Last I heard of it was like 2 months ago. I don't know what's going on with it.
No, I mean that can't happen. But
come on, people.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that like I want to see a shift back to center. You know what I mean?
Yeah, righting of the ship. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think it's possible.
Maybe not yet, but I feel like at least we stopped the pendulum from going too far to the left, because it was getting pretty scary. I feel like with some of the stuff that was happening, and like all the censorship and like the whole COVID ordeal. Just blatant like censorship.
Oh yeah. That stuff was crazy.
Yeah.
So good segue. I saw what's I'm not gonna, we don't need to date this, but relatively recently, within the last couple of days, the White House website was posted something about COVID, and I want you to take a look at it. I'll just post a link of it or something.
I'm excited.
Keep talking.
COVID. It's a lab leak for sure. 100% human engineered, probably human distributed.
Look at this
lab leak. Whoa.
The true origins of COVID-19.
Dang. Oh shit.
This is the freaking White House government.
Wow.
Like the government's
whitehouse.gov. Huh.
This is on there. It's
that's crazy.
Number 1, the virus possesses a biological characteristic that is not found in nature. Oh.
No.
2, data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to the previous pandemics, where there were multiple spillover events. 3, Wuhan is home to China's foremost SARS research lab, which has a history of conducting gain-of-function research at inadequate biosafety levels. I feel like we did navigate the noise on something pretty similar to this. Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers were sick with COVID-like symptoms in the fall of 2019, months before COVID-19 was discovered at the wet market.
Yikes.
5, by nearly all measures of science, if there was evidence of natural origin, it would have already surfaced, but it hasn't. That's what we said on our Navigate the Noise.
It is. Yeah.
Number 5.
Like, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, you have to give it a little bit of critical thought. Like, okay, if you've got all these people looking for where this happened, and we have yet to find it. It's been years of looking to see where the event was. I remember first there was like pangolins, then it was bats, then it was like, I don't even know.
Well, yeah, like you're telling me a worldwide pandemic of that scale, and we still haven't found the origin of it.
Yeah.
Like, well, that means somebody's hiding something.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like duh. Like, come on, guys.
Oh,
like how many people have we had?
They show a map between Wuhan, the Institute of Virology, and the seafood market where
the bat soup was ate.
7.5 miles.
That's crazy.
And then, I mean, it goes into so much. There's so much on this. They talk about the gain of function research. They talk about all the cover up. They talk about the cover up in the government, like the U.S. government, people within 3-letter organizations obstructing the investigations.
I'm sure. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People are hiding stuff. Like, how deep does that go? That's crazy, because it started in China, and, people in the U.S. are,
yeah. This is crazy because
put those tinfoil hats on.
This is something that, like, had you talked about this 4 years ago, you would have been fired.
Oh yeah,
from a lot of jobs.
Yep. Fired, banned on any social media, taken off of Twitter like they were doing. Yep. That's insane. They were taking people off of Twitter, not even for seeking up like saying that. They were just like anything against viruses, or not viruses, vaccines. Yeah. Like, God, it's got to be so obvious. If somebody like goes to that extent to tell you have to do something or to make something happen, something sketchy is going on, dude.
Yeah. I was working at Walmart at the time, dude. And I'll never forget. They came in, like, I worked overnights at Walmart during the pandemic, and they were like coming in, and like almost every night they were like, have you gotten the vaccine? Have you gotten the vaccine? Have you gotten the vaccine? And they're like, we'll pay for you to go get the vaccine. We'll pay for you to go get it. And you'll get 1 day off. And then nobody was getting it. We'll give you 2 days off paid for recovery. Oh, we'll give you up to 5 days off. They
were giving you incentives to go get vaccinated. That's insane.
I was like,
I had to pay. What? I had to pay like an extra I can't remember what it was exactly. But it was at least $10 to $20 a week, like a paycheck, because I was unvaccinated. That's like to my health insurance. Like,
That's just wild.
Yeah, they were doing all they could to force people to get it, or to like at least influence them to get it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, there's so much just misinformation surrounding it all. It's I mean, it would be
I want that money
hours.
back.
Yeah, right.
I do. That's crazy. I mean, it's pennies on the dollar, but still, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What was I paying for?
Yeah. So that's an interesting one that's developed recently. The White House coming out like that. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are on that, I just think it's wild.
You should have taken the 2 days and just not got vaccinated. Be like, oh, sorry,
you had to prove it. I had to go get a note.
I missed my appointment.
Dude, I remember too, like halfway, like not even halfway through, like a couple months in, they were supposed to be like temping you when you walked in the door.
Oh, we were supposed to do that.
Oh yeah, I don't think anyone actually still did that besides New York. after the first,
what about the vaccine passports and shit?
Yeah. Oh god.
Like what?
I don't. Okay.
All that shit was insane.
Hang on. Let me. I will play. I will come to the defense of that. I am not aware if that actually occurred or if it was.
Oh, I don't know if it did either. But
yeah, I'm not like I have heard.
I wasn't in New York.
Yeah, I wasn't either. But I've heard from time to time that like that's constantly brought up as a thing. But I don't know if it's actually happened. So we're gonna fact check ourselves here live. Well, not live to you, live to us.
Yeah,
on
in real time.
In real time.
IRL or whatever.
Their vaccine passports.
But it was being the fact is
they were talking about it.
It was being talked about, right? Okay, so that's scary just to talk about. You know?
Oh, yep. Nope, never mind. Yeah, there was.
Yep, I thought so.
August 2021, New York City implemented a vaccine passport program
because they were doing it
key to NYC, which required indoor dining, fitness, recreation, and entertainment venues in NYC to verify that staff and guests age 5 and older are vaccinated against COVID-19 as a condition of entry.
Yeah, they were doing that in the UK.
Yep.
Like they weren't even allowing people to like leave their houses. Like they had to go and like if they wanted to go on a walk, they had to go at a certain time or some shit.
It didn't even last. It lasted 7 months. Then they got rid of it.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like kind of like social quarantine.
I'm gonna think it's hilarious. I thought it was so funny when they did that because I remember. They effectively, like, if you look at like the numbers of who is getting vaccinated, they essentially just brought back segregation, racial segregation.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, like if you look at the rates of who is getting vaccinated, white people
like minorities.
Minorities were not getting vaccinated.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, the black community has a little bit of a history with the government telling them to get vaccinated. So
right.
I can't really blame them for not wanting to get vaccinated.
Right.
Syphilis, anyone?
Well, like I mean, the rest of the society should have looked at that and been like, well, we're not discriminating anymore, so they're probably going to do that to us too.
Well, no. So what I'm saying is like white people got a large number of white people got vaccinated, especially in New York City, and then the black people and like the Mexicans and everyone else was not. They were like, they're more skeptical.
Yeah.
So then when the vaccine passport rolled out, you had like all these black people getting barred from entry, and it was all because they didn't have the passport.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, so they effectively brought back segregation for like 7 months.
Wow, shame on New York.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh, wow,
it was like they're like, yeah, this is great, everyone. And then I remember because then Fauci went around to like I don't know where exactly it was. It looked like it was New York City in like the downtown areas. He went around to people and was like trying to actually get them why try to inform them of the vaccine and get them vaccinated. Like, oh, you really need to take the vaccine. Like going around doing that. And the black people he was talking to were like, no, no.
Like what?
Yeah, and then the other guy literally in his face in the middle of them talking about it. Because it was like him and I don't know if it was not the mayor, but like someone higher up was going around with it. It was a PR stunt to bring awareness.
Right.
It's like, I remember that too. The whole time they're like, it was
a PR stunt.
We need better awareness in these communities for the vaccine. No, they're all aware of it. They just don't want it.
Yeah. No, they made them aware. Yeah.
Like they know what it is. They just don't want it.
Yeah.
So, well, to be fair, New York has a really, really, really bad reputation with low expectations for the black community. So, to be fair. Did you see what that was it the mayor or the governor? No, I forget what her name was. She basically said that black kids don't know what the internet is.
recently?
Yeah, like last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who said that?
It was I'm gonna look it up right now, fact check, so I can get the name.
It's probably AOC.
No.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's just an insane thing to say.
Who said it? Governor. It was New York governor. May. It was a year ago. Not even a full year ago.
They don't know what the internet is. Wow.
Her quote was, "Oh, I'm about to sneeze." Oh, I'm sick. Anyway,
You should get vaccinated.
right here, this is what she said. Right now, we have young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know these things.
Oh, come on.
It's even worse than they don't know the internet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. She said she misspoke. You didn't misspoke.
No, you said what you said.
Yeah.
Don't try to backtrack. I hate that. Like, oh, what I was actually saying was...
Yeah. Anyway, so...
Well, what did she actually say? Like, is there a quote?
Yeah, that was the quote. That's what she said. Quote, right now we have young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is, she said. They don't know these things.
Well...
So anyway, back to the whole vaccine.
Sounds a little bit
thing.
worse than the whole autism thing.
I know, right?
Just like what?
Like when Biden said that, was it poor kids can be just as smart as white kids?
Is that what he said? I forgot about that. Like, wait, what'd you say? Oh no, what I meant to say was. I'm like, I don't think you said what you meant to say, dude.
He said, yeah, no, poor kids can be just as smart as white kids.
Stick to the teleprompter, dude.
Repeat the line. Anyway,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so the whole back to the vaccine, the Fauci thing. They were talking to the dude, and the dude was like, he's like, no, I don't want the vaccine. They're like, no, it's really actually important that you get the vaccine. He goes, what about natural immunity? I've already got it. And they're like, well, the vaccine's better than natural immunity.
Yeah,
you should get both.
Since whenever?
He's like, no. And then he starts like questioning Fauci more and Fauci, okay, all right. Hope you change your mind. As the guy's still like asking him questions, and they're like, oh God, turn away.
Yep, no.
We can't be seen.
Cut this out. Turn the camera off.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I don't know. I think we've all kind of come to a point where we can agree that the whole COVID situation was wild.
Well, so like I like the whole, like, yeah, it's wild. It's unfortunate that it happened the way it did.
I'm gonna remain
like
consistent.
I want to, like, heart goes out to everybody who, you know, was affected badly by it and who died from it, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, why did it start in the first place? You know.
So I will say this: the beginning of COVID was definitely that. I think the knee-jerk reaction was dangerous, but I do think that, you know, it did hit so quickly and so abruptly that, you know, the precautions being taken, it was, I think at first might have been in the right kind of, like, you know, we're trying to figure out what we can do to curb this.
Sure.
But I said this before, and I don't think I've said it on any of our episodes, but I stick to this. It's like, I give the government a little bit of leeway with the first couple of weeks to like maybe 2-3 months. Like, they had no idea what was going on. It's kind of wild. Like, you know, trying to slow the spread. I get that. So I give them a little bit of a pass. But for it to last like 3 years, basically 3-4 years, no, it was wild. And then to shove the vaccines and just, I mean, come on, it was ridiculous. Like, I mean, the vaccine should have only really been a thing for the first wave. Once you got the next waves as they progressed, they got less and less virulent and more just like a flu. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, it's like, why are we vaccinating kids? Like, vaccinate the elderly, vaccinate those with immunocompromised. Like, do that. I have no problem with that level of vaccination, but then kids, like,
well, my problem was the, like we talked about with the Walmart giving you 2 paid days off to go get vaccinated, with me getting charged on my insurance. Like, I'm a 33-year-old, you know, healthy guy. I mean, I don't get sick ever. You know what I mean? I've never been vaccinated for the flu. You know, like, why are they forcing everybody to get vaccinated? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, to prevent the spread. Well, that's fine. The older people, the young, like kids, like people, they should take it upon themselves to quarantine themselves, get vaccinated if they want. You know, like it bothered me when they started forcing it on everybody to the extent on which they forced it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think they went way too far.
So
and it kind of like, to the point where it's a little conspiratorial,
well,
you know.
Give the alternatives, like give alternatives.
Well, yeah,
I mean, so here's the thing. I don't fault the vaccine for them trying to roll out a vaccine.
Well, it's all about. It goes back to what you said about the DEI. It's all about profit.
Yeah.
From there, you know what I mean. Like they're not going to say other things that could benefit you if they're not going to profit from it.
Also, they use the Emergency Authorization Act. I mean, come on, this is stuff. I mean, people, you've probably heard this at some point, depending on who you listen to. But like, they had Emergency Use Authorization Act. So they approved these vaccines with no real testing, not a lot of testing, not thorough testing, and they got approval because they're like, well, it's emergency, we got to approve it. And the way they get that approval is if there's no other way to treat it, no other way to stop it. So when you looked at other stuff, like ivermectin, increased vitamin, so like vitamin C, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, increased mineral, like overall general health, like exercise, health, stuff like that. Like they were like you weren't allowed to go outside and exercise for the first couple of weeks. You weren't allowed to, like, I remember they were trying to force us. You couldn't like drive. Like even here in Tennessee, there was some, you can only drive to and from work for a little bit.
Oh yeah. I remember.
They're doing all these things to try and curb it. And it's like, you're not like, being fit. Okay, so the deaths. I believe somewhere in the realm of over 3/4 of the deaths, people had 2 or more comorbidities. So overweight, heart problem, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So these were not healthy people that were dying from this. And that's not to say there weren't any healthy people dying from this, but you're a much greater risk if you had comorbidities. So overall general health and well-being would help reduce your risk. But we went full blown, get vaccinated, and not like, well, hang on, maybe go for some walks in an area and keep your distance, do some walks, eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, eat more healthy, take some supplements, do stuff like that. And they're like, nope, I'll stop. It's only the vaccine. And the reason I brought up ivermectin is just because, I mean, I'm not going to go into the science a lot of the ivermectin. I don't know a lot of it, but I do know that it decreases viral load. It's not a horse dewormer. I remember when they shoved that on Joe Rogan for so hard.
Well, the thing with the Joe Rogan thing is, like, it was blatant, like they were covering up so much they literally put like a filter over him when they showed a clip of it on CNN. Like they yelled his skin to make him look sick. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, man. Yeah. Like,
and they call it horse dewormer and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, this is a product that has been around for decades. That has
the inventor of it won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
Like
it's got use in humans.
Like millions, maybe billions. Like
yes,
like.
Exactly. So just the whole, like, I mean, it's one thing after another with the response the government had.
Right.
And it's just crazy.
Right. Like you said, you could have given them leeway for the first
little bit of time,
like month or two, maybe to figure things out. But then they like kept on it and kept on it back to the point where like it wasn't even really a threat anymore. And they still like boosters. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Dude, have you seen that video where, I think I sent it to you, the video where it's like someone took a compilation of all of the media going, and just the lies, the utter lies. Fauci saying that if you get vaccinated, you won't transmit the disease. And then in Congress, testifying before Congress, they asked one of the spokesperson for the Pfizer vaccine, and she said, no, we did not test for transmissibility, like a transmission.
Right.
We didn't test for that.
No.
What do you mean you won't get sick? You won't transmit it if you get the vaccine? And then they admitted in front of Congress that they didn't test for that.
Yeah, I mean they should get sued for that, right?
Yeah, but they can't because whatever.
Because why?
Because of the kind of why the government signed off, like the
emergency
emergency use, and then
such bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
see, and to think that, and like just like that is like wide scale, like huge manipulation. Like, just think about anything else that's going on that, we're being manipulated by.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. That's so crazy. I wonder what Fauci's worth now, like financially, than before COVID. I wonder if it was like he's worth like a lot more. Like,
well, you saw his but you heard of his documentary on Netflix he had.
No.
Yeah, he had a Netflix documentary, and like it was like
I don't want to rot my brain.
it's pretty bad. The scores on it, like
Well, of course it is.
So this shows you the disconnect between the elites reviewers and the people.
Right. Well, that's good. At least there's a disconnect. But
Fauci documentary.
I mean, if there's a disconnect, that's good. I mean, that shows that they're not buying into everything, which is hopeful. But
Rotten Tomatoes.
But the fact that like narratives like that are still being pushed is
So right here
is frustrating.
It received. Let's do Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes tells all.
Yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes from the, I guess that's reviewers, 86%.
That's.
Do you know what the people, like users, like normal people, reviewed it? 2%.
Wait, Rotten Tomatoes says 86.
Yeah, tomato meter is 86. Popcorn meter 2%.
What's popcorn meter?
That's just people, just users.
Oh.
The tomato meter is like actual legit reviewers, like movie critics. Movie critics gave it an 86.
The people who work for Hollywood.
People gave it 2%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it flopped.
Oh, see, I thought Rotten Tomatoes was a credible thing to look at as far as critic. Well, obviously not.
Well, no, I'm saying it's good to see. It's good to compare critics versus audience.
Well, yeah.
It's good for that. Let me say that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good. So anyway, I didn't mean to turn this whole thing into a COVID thing.
Well, it's a big subject.
It is. I just think it's funny that the government, the White House now is like, yeah, it's a lab leak.
What, like, I don't know, like there's all sorts of stuff that we talked about, like regarding it. Like, I mean, it started in China. You put tinfoil hats on. Like, are there people in America working with China? You know,
Fauci was.
Well, exactly. And if Fauci was, and what's to say that other people weren't? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, that's just it's scary because, like, it seems threatening potentially to our democracy and our way of life, you know? Like, and I feel like that was a huge, like, it happened so, like, COVID hit so fast and so effectively from the beginning, it almost seemed, like, weaponized.
Oh, gain of function?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it almost seems like it was intently distributed amongst the world population, you know? In an attempt to kind of go towards this draconian style, like, life.
My take on it is
COVID, vaccine passports.
Yeah. So,
you know,
so I know where you're going with that. Like, it's like control.
Yeah,
like
censorship. People are getting kicked off of fucking Twitter. You know, like, people could only white people could walk around New York. Like, what?
No. Only they could be let into restaurants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
go work out or go to.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they were okay. That's even worse.
They're just
but
inside,
you know what I mean?
Inside eating, and black people are looking through the window again.
Like that. But you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of that's scary. You know what I mean? And like that, and
well, it tells you how quickly they rolled it back because they're like, shit, we look racist.
We went too far. Like,
And I love how the solution wasn't.
And it wasn't
mandates. The solution was, how do we get black people vaccinated? It was like, it's like how the messaging. No, it's because they remember the fucking 1950s or 40s when they got injected with syphilis for study from not the CIA but someone.
Was it the Tuskegee Airmen?
Yeah. They're like, hey guys, here's your vaccines for the year, and they're like, why does it say syphilis on the vial? No, that's not syphilis.
It's mislabeled.
Mislabeled.
It's fine. Take it.
Yeah. It's like, to anyone who does not know what that was.
But I really don't want to. I really don't want to downplay that fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like, it. If you just look at the big picture of everything, it seems like it seemed a lot of intent behind it. You know what I mean? Just the way that things played out and everything is coming to light now. Like, it seemed very intentional, which is kind of scary. You know what I mean?
So I will continue that point. I just wanted to get that out there. The Tuskegee study of syphilis. It was conducted between 32 and 72 by the U.S. Public Health Service.
Between 1932 and 1972?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
So my thing is, they probably 72 is probably when the last like patient died. Like they probably went to 72. But it probably went 40 years because they're like, shit, we got found out. Now we gotta like help.
Stop.
Yeah.
First we gotta stop.
Yeah,
Too, we gotta like be like, oh shit, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. So anyway, there's 400 African American men were infected with syphilis, knowingly and intentionally. So that's why when they went down into the Bronx and they couldn't get anyone black to get vaccinated, they're like, why won't anyone take the vaccine? They must just not know what a computer is.
Sure.
It's like, no, it's because they remember what happened, not that long ago.
Right.
So no wonder they're a little worried. Anyway, also there's been that distrust in government for a long time, police, government, authority, all that stuff like that. So, but to your point, what you were saying is it seemed like they were taking advantage and doing those things. My whole opinion on that is, I don't think you said this. This wasn't what your point was. I don't think you were trying to say this was like an intentional act to do that. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're saying like okay.
I'm saying this. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. My opinion on it is they just saw an opportunity and ran with
go
it.
back to the navigate the noise we said we did, and like China literally put out a statement to be like it would be wise not to investigate this further.
Yeah.
Like what? Why? Why do you think they don't want us to investigate it?
Did you see that? Did you see? No. Germany.
Well, hold on. No, do they just want to be not held accountable, or do they not want to?
Exactly.
Want everybody to know they're trying to take over the fucking world.
Yeah. Germany just released a statement about their study into the COVID-19 leak, and they were like, "Yeah, we decided it's wise not to release our study, our findings."
What?
They're like, "Hey guys, we just spent all this time and money trying to figure out where COVID came from, and we probably shouldn't release the results."
Yeah, that's correct. Germany did that. Yeah. Oh my god, they're in cahoots. They're in cahoots. They're part of it. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, my opinion on it is I think they saw an opportunity and they tried to take it. They saw this like any like the government. Like I don't like. I'm not gonna go down the full like tinfoil hat where it's like I think they planned it. I think they saw an opportunity and they're like, let's just go see how far we can go with this.
I don't know. A lot of people have ties with China, man. Like everybody has ties with China.
The reason I say it is because, I don't think they have that level of control on events.
Oh, I disagree with that.
I think.
I disagree with that. It's deep state goes as deep as the Mariana Trench, dude. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me?
No. Hear me out. This is my opinion. My opinion I think is chaotic, attempting to control so many things.
It looks chaotic to us, to the people who are in control.
Yeah. So I tend to
it's all a plan.
I tend to live by Occam's razor, and usually that's like the thing that is like the thing that requires the least amount of steps to be true is usually true. Like if the least amount of ifs and buts and questions asked. Like,
what'd you do? What did you read? Ender's Game?
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
I loved those books, dude. I've read all those books. I read Orson Scott Card. I read all this stuff.
Oh, he's a genius.
Yeah. And then I read his new stuff and I was like, God, dude, just go back to Ender's Game.
No, did you read the Formic Wars or
Formic Wars? I read
Formic Wars.
I read.
Yeah.
So
no,
the Formic Wars were great.
Oh, it was
the
awesome.
Best of all of them.
It was like so like the way he described like space warfare and stuff was so like realistic and all made sense.
So let me say, if you like the way he expressed combat in space, all that stuff, if you really like that, you need to listen to the Lost Fleet series by John G. Henry.
Listen to or read?
Listen, both. It's a book, but I listen to it on Audible because to me, it's so much more convenient, like driving to work or something, to listen.
Yeah, definitely. No, I have an Audible account. Yeah.
So look, dude, I'll let you sign into mine. You can just listen to it. I've got all of them.
I've got like 40 free credits.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then
because I've been paying for a subscription and I haven't bought anything, and I was like, I should probably cancel this.
Dude, okay.
But I still have like 40 credits or something.
Can we go back to when you got called out for being bad with money by Eliza?
No, I called her out.
And then you got called out?
Yeah, I need to
Eliza, you're bad with money. Ethan, how many Audible credits do you have?
I How many books do you have on your shelf that you haven't read yet?
Yeah.
90% of them.
Dude, after the recording, I will download them on your phone. Like literally, they're fantastic listens. Like he does, like that is he said in the first book, he said, I went to physicists, I went to actual scientists to figure out what actual space combat would be like, and it is nothing like Star Wars.
Oh God, no.
Like once I listened to these books and then I watched Star Wars again, I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. This is not how this happens.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, it's a little,
But anyway, they're very good books. So
but they're great.
Yes. And Orson Scott Card does a fantastic job too. But he never does anything to the scale that John G. Henry does.
Interesting. Okay.
Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell's his, I think, a pen name or whatever.
Right.
But
Orson Scott Card's his pen name. It's not even his real name. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, those books are fantastic. I like the military sci-fi. So.
Oh, it's fascinating. Well, and not even that. Like the Ender's Game series is like dives deep into like philosophy, like human philosophy and psychology and stuff.
Did you finish the entire Ender's Game series?
I don't know. So I was reading these while I was locked up.
Okay.
So I read a good amount of them.
Okay.
Like I read probably like 5 or 6.
Did you get to the piggies?
Yes, that rings a bell.
Did you get to the last book in that where like find the origin
Ender's Shadow? No, that's the second one.
No, Ender's Shadow. So Ender's Shadows follows Bean.
That's about Bean, yeah.
Yeah, Bean's stories are a little bit, I think, in terms of like military sci-fi, Bean's are better.
I read these like 6 years ago now, 7 years ago.
All I'll say is Orson Scott Card is very good with dabbling in the psychology, the philosophy.
Oh, he doesn't go deep enough into it to where
he does in his later books, and it's not good.
Oh, really?
It falls flat. It falls pretty flat. You're like, I'm not.
But not the Ender's Game series.
The ending of it
really?
Does. Yeah, the ending is a little disappointing.
Okay.
It does fall heavily into philosophy, and you get to the point you're like, okay, dude, you were really good about the military sci-fi.
Well, where do you think like that's got to end somehow? You know what I mean? Like everything's got to come to an end. It's not going to end like with a bang.
No. But he tries so hard to get into deep philosophy, and I think he just falls flat because it's like he
doesn't quite get there.
Well, he loses. I'm sure there are people who listen to it just for the philosophy, but it doesn't. It feels like it's like he's forcing it at some points. Like the story could flow a lot better if he wasn't taking these long breaks to try and like ram home certain philosophical questions and stuff. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but it's been years since I listened to him. But it definitely was like, I just remember the impact I felt of it. I was like, and also the ending to Ender's Game, like the series. I can't remember the last book. So stupid, in my opinion. So stupid. Descolada virus. That's the virus. That Descolada virus.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
They find the origin of it.
Okay,
it's stupid.
I'd have to reread them.
It's really stupid.
They're not. What I like about them too is they're not super tough reads either. No, he does. He does a good job making a complex story easy to read.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the whole like
Occam's razor. You were saying you like to embrace the Occam's razor theory.
Yeah. I like to
so explain first of all what Occam's razor is.
Occam's razor is simply a way to explain, try to find out explanations for things. So basically, if like so if you're trying to figure out, for example, if I'm trying to figure out, okay, the government exercising more control over the populace through the guise of lockdowns and mandates and stuff like that. Occam's razor, in my opinion, I think I'm applying it correctly here, is like
would suggest
what it suggests is like, okay, so the step-by-step process is like which process to explain the government's control has the least amount of variables. So in my opinion, from my thinking, is like there's less variables involved with them, let's say, fabricating the whole event versus them going, hey, here's a pandemic issue, let's just capitalize on it. So like in my thinking, and I'm not saying this is what it is, just my thinking is like, if we're going to go down the route of they orchestrated the event to try and gain control, you've got to then look at stuff like, did they coordinate with China? Did they did they purposely leak it at this time? How did they leak it? Like you got to look at all these factors that led up to it, and that just adds more variables. Where if you look at like the idea that like, hey, this event happened, and they just decided, okay, well, let's try and nab some control now that requires less variables because then you don't have to consider if they were involved with the lab leak. You don't have to consider, because first off, China, US doesn't really have good relations, so that'd be hard to, manage that. So there's just less. So basically, it just boils down to, like, in my opinion, whatever explanation has the least number of variables in it is more likely to be true.
Right. Sure.
So
that's essentially what Occam's razor is.
Yeah.
Like whatever the least
number of variables.
Right. The path of the least resistance, essentially.
Yes. Good. That's a very good way to put it. And that doesn't mean it's always right. I just think
it just means it's more
it's a
likely.
General principle. It's a pretty good way to look at things.
At least in nature.
I think in most
things.
Which,
I mean, you can rope human nature into that.
Yeah, I think in most things, but it definitely doesn't account for, there very well could be a very deep state. There very well could be a very Mariana Trench deep state that was orchestrating that. Look at the world.
Whether or not they orchestrated the,
look at
COVID.
the World Economic Forum. There's that. How do you explain what's going on over with that?
Right.
It's just wild stuff. Klaus Schwab, you've got to go down. I guarantee you, if you look at some of the stuff that Klaus Schwab has been involved in, and I don't want to dig into that because that's I'm not even going to touch on that.
That was Charles Schwab.
No, that's a
investment
bank, I think. Yeah.
Investment firm. Yeah.
Klaus Schwab.
That was that German dude or whatever.
Yeah.
Some weird speaking guy. Some guy with an accent.
Yeah. He's part of the World Economic Forum.
Who's saying like
James, quit scratching, buddy.
So, one day you will own nothing and you'll be happy. That's why I bought my house. Literally. I'm literally, because I heard him say that, or that was being spread around. So I'm like, I want to buy my house.
Anyway, that's a tinfoil hat road. I wanted to go back to health in terms of health.
Well, just in regards to what you said about the Occam's razor thing, in order for a worldwide kind of takeover towards Chinese control, it's got to be, they got to take in a lot more variables than the least amount. Yeah. For it to be successful for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So with that in mind, it's still, well, it's just, so
it's a way to kind of try to explain events, not a way to predict events.
All right. Well, I'm trying to predict events.
Okay. I'm just trying to explain.
I know. I'm just saying,
it is fun to think
understand.
about.
Yeah, I understand how you would. Yeah, it is fun to think about. It's scary. It's scary to think about more. It is fun. Yeah, I think.
True. But, so that I want to go back to the general health and well-being, and overall, I'm going to take it back even further.
Oh wait, hold on. We were just talking about the Schwab thing and all these weird these World Economic Forum. Did you hear about the Titanic could have been an insurance fraud thing?
No.
It was purposefully sunk by the dude who owned it or had insurance on it just to collect the insurance money. I forgot where I saw that. It was an article somewhere. Whoever owned the Titanic sunk it purposefully to collect the insurance money. I don't know. He sunk it in a pretty deep spot. It would be hard to find, especially back in 1912. You know what I mean? Nobody's getting down there to check for any, And then when we get down there, decades later, there's not going to be anything left, evidence-wise, to be able to figure out what really happened. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to Google it to figure out. But
I don't think jet fuel can melt steel hulls. I'm just kidding.
I don't know where you're going. It probably hit an iceberg, but
9/11.
Who did he hire and who did he tell? Hey, just get in this.
He hired an iceberg.
Hit that iceberg, and this is the fastest route to the lifeboat. You know what I mean? It's not outside the realm of possibilities.
I just like the joke where it's the meme where it's if the Titanic sunk nowadays, women and children first. But all the men I identify as a woman.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because the guy is he's successful now, or he became
his
successful.
Family,
his name it's a recognizable name. And I don't want to leave dead air here, so I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah, so it's about the Titanic insurance.
Yes, look it up. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
It's insane. And that's just another I call them the string pullers, back when I knew what the deep state was, but there's people who do things that are absolutely crazy to normal people, just to make a buck or for power or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's always going to be a thing. And it's like the more and more those people are successful, the worse it's going to get. What are you reading? What do you see?
So yeah, just
What's his name?
I don't know. It didn't say yet. It's for me. It's telling me who paid it out.
Well, who did they pay it to? Is what?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. Yeah, blah 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 blah.
I promise you're going to recognize the name because I saw it and I was like, what?
Lloyd's, but that's not the name. That's a company paying out.
Just look up who owned the Titanic.
Yeah. I mean, it was underinsured.
It was like some brother or something. I don't know.
The Wright brothers.
That's how they funded their.
It was
aviation.
owned by White Star Line, which was a subsidiary of the American-owned International of New Jersey, J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, that was it. J.P. Morgan. Who's like a big investment thing, isn't it? Isn't he?
It's a financer, yeah, American financer.
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy? I don't know if it's just like somebody making up a conspiracy theory, but I don't know. I don't know if
we should have an episode where we just go across conspiracy theories.
We should. I don't know if like any evidence surfaced of it or not, but it's definitely not outside like I said, the realm of possibilities. Anyways, back to health and being healthy and not contracting bullshit viruses.
Yeah, I think I had COVID.
Oh, I got it for sure.
Yeah, I think I had it.
And I felt fine. Like I had like a cough and like a stuffy nose for a couple days, and I never got it again. Well, I don't even know if I got it because I never got tested, but
yeah,
I got sick like right when it started. Because I worked the whole time. I work in the restaurant industry, so I was essential. I'm essential. You're not. And yeah, like so, definitely got sick. Definitely didn't have really much of an effect on me.
Bad joke.
Huh? That was a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I'm like, man, restaurant industry. You should have been working in New York. Your tips are probably pretty high for that 7-month period.
Probably, yeah, yeah. Didn't have to worry about any of the hoodlums.
Let anyone
clip that.
Yeah. Oh, did you just make a joke? Yeah. I watched Kill Tony. Okay.
Yeah, come on, guys.
I can make jokes like that.
It's 2025. We're woke. We can say stuff like that.
Wait, it's 2025. We're unwoke, I think. De-woked.
I went back to sleep, yeah.
De-woked. This is the term, we're de-woked.
Dewormed.
Yes, we had some ivermectin.
No, I never took anything. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, the whole general like health, like that's something that like surprised me is like we weren't telling people to just exercise. We weren't letting
We've
people
never
exercise.
been telling them that though.
Which is
like, and that's not the thing. Like, that's not really related to COVID specifically. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just in
general.
People naturally were that way back, like in the day, because they had to be in order to provide for themselves. And we got too comfortable. Like think back to
overabundance of food.
Well, think back like medieval times and stuff. Like if you were fat, you were wealthy. You were you were successful because you could afford all that food. You didn't have to work for it, right? So fat people were always like kings were always fat. I don't know, like that's a known thing, and like America at least just got away from that because like everything just got so industrialized and automated that we don't have to work for it anymore. So now we're just sitting around eating all the time and not exercising because it's not necessarily fun for everybody. So naturally people get unhealthy.
I'm glad we didn't let dad bods take over. 2018 was like the year for dad bods.
Was that the fad?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was
died pretty quick, thankfully.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to justify men.
That's something I hope I never get is like a nice old beer gut.
That's why you're drinking whiskey.
I'm determined. Yeah, I'm determined. Well, also because beer makes me pee a lot.
Okay.
And I don't like. It makes me uncomfortable.
Makes you uncomfortable.
Well, not uncomfortable, but like it's annoying.
Well, I literally can't drink beer, so that's good for me.
Well, that sucks, dude. Yeah. Beer's delicious.
Yeah,
well, some of it.
I do.
Not IPAs.
I take it from time to time. I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right on those. Whiskey's pretty darn good though.
Whiskey's delicious.
Yeah. Overall general health and well-being though, like it's interesting because I think we're seeing a resurgence, especially with like RFK Jr. being involved now, of like more natural, like more like natural care for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're looking at they're banning red dye 40 and other stuff like that in their foods. I think they're going to be taking a swing at glyphosates and stuff like that. I think they're going to be tackling a lot of problems, but it's just interesting because we're seeing this resurgence in like people wanting to be generally overall healthy in America.
Yeah.
Because we're finally waking up to the fact that like our food is crap.
Well, it's a good thing too. Like being healthy makes life easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not in good shape. I'm not like overweight or anything, but like if I do anything extraneous, is that the word?
Yeah.
Strenuous. No, not extraneous, just strenuous. If I do anything strenuous outside of work that I'm not used to doing every single day, I get tired pretty quick. You know what I mean? And that's like, it's not scary, but it's like, man, like I need to.
It hits you. You're like, oh crap, I should probably do something.
You know,
in my 30s.
And like, so like, I don't want everything to be difficult, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel for people who are morbidly obese because, God, that's gotta suck. Like just getting up out of the chair, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gotta be so bad. Is that like, do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy that? I don't know.
Well, that's why I think the fat acceptance is a bad way to look at that, because it's like, why glorify that when you can, you need to bring awareness to it, where it's like, yeah, you don't have to be like a freaking thin model, like, but you also shouldn't be morbidly obese. Like,
no, we shouldn't.
There's a balance.
Well, and it's sad, I think, because I don't think it was done intentionally. Like the sad part is it just happened because
fat acceptance, or just getting fat.
No, getting fat.
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
Like it's just sad that's happened because, like I said, it happened because we naturally didn't have to work for anything anymore, and then also like the, industrialization of everything, and
our food
like
become really bad.
The processed of it,
the processed food's really bad.
But like I don't think that was done with bad intentions, which is even more upsetting that it's like there's so much resistance to fix it now because.
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't think they didn't set out with the purpose of creating fat people.
I think they set out with the goal of making more money. You know, like with being able to make it accessible to more people, for a longer period of time. You know what I mean? Like, like I can get this in all these supermarkets, and it can sit on the shelf for like weeks on end before it like goes bad. Some more people are going to be able to buy it. You know what I mean? Quick
tip: shop on the outside of the aisles. Don't shop in the inside of the aisles.
Oh, like on the end caps?
Well, shop on like, so if you notice when you go to a grocery store, your healthier stuff is outside the aisles, and inside the aisles where it's your less healthy stuff. So for example,
like walk in a circle and
like walk around the aisles. Don't go down the aisles, because down the aisles you'll get a bunch of stuff you don't need that's not healthy, like the chips, like the bread aisle, like all that stuff. But if you look at what's on the outside of the aisles, what's on the outsides? You got your milk, you got your meats, dairies. You got your dairies, you got your produce, you got your all that stuff.
I don't know. On the outside of the Kroger by my house is a bunch of ice cream.
Oh, well, see, they're breaking the code.
No, that's interesting though, because that makes sense.
Yeah, shop on the outside. To anyone listening, let us know if you shop on the outside or inside of the aisles, because it's one thing to go down an aisle to go get something you want. Mm-hmm. It's another to like, you're just wandering. Don't wander down those aisles.
Right. So I like that's a good general rule of thumb.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to stick to the outsides. I also try to focus on like, instead of getting like complete meals, like getting one thing that's a complete meal, I try to get like all the stuff to make a meal. So I try to get the protein, I try to get the vegetable, I try to get the fruit, I try to get like all the separate stuff, because that's generally healthier than the pre-made stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So,
yep.
But anyway, that's just my little thinking. Also, I'm super excited. I should be getting my H2 tabs soon.
I ordered some.
You did?
Yeah. Because they only had two flavors. They had
raspberry and unflavored.
Raspberry and unflavored. I got one of each.
Oh, I got unflavored.
Yeah, Eliza ordered them, but
yeah. Well, have yours shipped yet?
No, I think they said that it's going to ship like beginning
Mine just shipped today. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nice.
So I should get it by Saturday.
I'm so curious.
I was listening to the episode.
And curious.
I was listening to the episode, and then I stopped. Literally went to the store, bought it, and then continued listening to it.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, as soon, no.
So anyone listening, Ethan, you want to explain what H2 tabs are?
I'm gonna butcher it, but yeah. So H2 tabs are essentially just hydrogen tabs that you drop them in water and they dissolve. I'm assuming. I don't know. I didn't look into it. I said, Eliza, buy these. But
Elijah, you're bad with your money, Ethan.
Hey, buy these tabs. But and so hydrogen apparently.
Isn't hydrogen already in water though? H2O.
Well, yeah, but this is just pure hydrogen, isn't it? Like
I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Literally, everyone I've told about this goes, "Isn't hydrogen already in water?" And I'm like,
but it's not.
But it's not. It's
hydrogen. It's water.
It's a hydrogen gas.
Yeah.
In the water now.
Yeah. But so hydrogen, I don't know I listened to it was Gary Brecka.
Yeah.
For those listening, Gary Brecka is the one who I heard talk about it. And he's this 50-year-old guy who looks fantastic. And so hydrogen is apparently the lightest element.
Yep.
Right. And it does a lot naturally, like 10%, is that what it is, of the human body?
Yep.
Is hydrogen. And hydrogen plays a natural role in kind of detoxifying the body, is what I took away from it.
It's an antioxidant and it's an anti-inflammatory.
Okay. Right.
And there's a lot of studies showing that inflammation is a cause of a lot of chronic issues.
Right. And something that he said that was super interesting was the part about blood flow.
Yep.
About how only 30% of the blood in your body is moved by the heart.
Yeah.
The rest is moved by like
intravascular.
Essentially muscular contractions, like a snake swallowing its food. And hydrogen, I guess, makes it easier for the body to do that.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. I think he said it was through absorption and reducing inflammation, so allowing more blood to flow.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I ordered some. I'm curious to try them out because I'm kind of like getting down the rabbit hole of like, what can I do to increase my health since our food is so bad?
Yeah, for sure.
So like
that's also something that he touched on was the nutrient level of our food that we're eating.
It's
like there's no nutrients in it, so you have to supplement.
I will say this: I did a little bit of study on that because I saw I think Charlie Kirk claimed that it was like 1/3. You have to eat 3 times the amount of vegetables and stuff to get the same amount of nutrients. And I was like,
oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know. So
it makes sense.
I've heard different numbers, so I looked it up, and I think the largest difference I saw was one mineral. Don't know if it was magnesium or iron or something, but basically, yes, most foods have 10 to 20% decrease in nutritional value.
Mm-hmm.
Some are as high as 30 and 40. But I have not seen it to the point where you need 3 times the amount. So, I mean, the numbers are all over, but irregardless of what the exact number is, the fact stands that it is decreased.
Right.
It is lower.
Yep.
But I'm trying to do all these quote health hacks and stuff. I'm taking my green powder. I'm going to be taking the H2 tabs. I'm taking my multivitamins. I'm doing the cold plunges.
And he said there was a specific type of vitamin that you want to take.
You definitely want minerals.
Well, no, it's when you take vitamins, you want them to it's some way that it makes it easier for the body to absorb.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to go back and listen to it because I'm sure it's a key part of it because you could be taking multivitamins that aren't doing shit for you.
Yeah. The cold plunge I thought was really cool. The stuff between cold plunge
with the hydrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have one that can do hydrogen, but that's why I got the tabs.
The bath bombs.
Yeah. Those aren't out yet, but I think they're coming out. Those are interesting. I got so to explain the H2 tabs to everyone, the process, what it does is it's a magnesium tablet. And when you drop it into water, it will chemically break apart H2O to create magnesium oxide. And then it strips the oxygen atom from the hydrogen atoms, creating hydrogen gas within the water. And then it creates magnesium oxide as a byproduct. So you've got water you got now H2O, 2O, and M3O or Mg3O or magnesium oxide. I don't know. I forget the exact numbers for it, whatever. But
irrelevant.
Yes. So because I did some research before I bought them. I wanted to kind of actually look at the science behind it because I tried to do that before I just knee-jerk.
Well, I'm I would have if you hadn't recommended them.
Yeah. I texted you about them.
You were like, here's your H2 tabs, and I listened to it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get these.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research, and basically, because someone astute might be like, wait, what about that byproduct, magnesium oxide? It's just Tums. It's a normal. I mean, yeah. It's like milk of magnesia. It is a compound or whatever you want to call it, that we can consume at 10 times the level that this tab creates.
Yeah, so
and we're fine. So it's of no concern.
So it gives yourself hydrogen and it fixes your heartburn all in one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
it's a 2-in-1.
But you have to drink it quick because the hydrogen dissipates.
You have to chug it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you have to chug it, but you need to drink it
fairly quickly
because it can dissipate out of the water.
Yeah. There's this side note, there was another episode of the Joe Rogan I was listening to. It had the guy who owns, or CEO at least, of Colossal Biometrics,
Yeah.
the people who made the direwolf, and he like at the very beginning of the episode, he's like, "Oh, I have to drop my H2 tab."
Yep.
Yeah, and they started talking about it, and then I heard him talk about it, and I was like, "Oh, this is a thing." So, like a lot of big people are doing it, but
yeah, it's
all the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, everyone should do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Peer pressure.
Kind of like my attempt to try and make up for our lack of healthiness with food. Because I do try to eat healthy. We try to cook our dinners. We try to do scratch. We try to do all that. But it's like, even still, it's so hard to get all the nutrients you need. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Not sponsored by H2 Tab or anything.
No, not at all. Not affiliated. Not sponsored by anybody, sadly.
But anyway, so I'm excited for this.
Monster,
tabs.
where you at?
Yeah, right.
They sponsor anybody.
Seriously. Red Bull, we gotta do some crazy.
I saw this. I don't know why. Like this on YouTube, I think it was of this guy who was like, he set up a table and he was doing like street raps. Like he'd set up like his recording stuff, and he'd hold up a sign and be like, "Hey, if you can rap, come rap." And he had like 2 Monster cans just like randomly on the table, just like logo out. I'm just like, you're like obvious sponsorship. I don't know. It was funny, or at least trying to get sponsored. Anyways,
we should get sponsored by Ground News.
That's why I keep trying to throw their name out there.
They're sponsoring so many people now on YouTube. I see it all the time.
No shit.
Yeah, all the time. People on YouTube getting sponsored. No one like us, but
well, we'll get there. Maybe.
Who knows?
Not if we could keep talking about fat people
COVID.
and autistic people.
Yeah.
Clip that.
Let's see. Who do we piss off today? Let's see. We hit the fat group. We hit the autistic group. We kind of dabbled with the black group.
Yeah, I was
is there anyone else we can piss off?
We definitely pissed off Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
China doesn't like us. Anyways.
I'm not gonna make that joke.
Do it.
No, I'm good.
Come on.
So I think it's a pretty good point, place to wrap up.
That's such a not even a cliffhanger. That's such just like a lift me up and let me down statement right there.
I'll share with it after.
Okay. I'm gonna say it next time.
Yeah, like the homeless people.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. That's a good idea, dude. Come on. They're not doing anything. Like, literally, they want something to do. Like, they'd be excited for it. They'd be like, here, take this drug, spin this. They'd be like, okay.
We gave people meth in 1916 to go to war. Why can't we give people meth nowadays to fuel our economy?
Give us energy. They're like, come on, man. They're literally not doing anything. Like, and they're fine with it. They're happy with it. And, and they'd be just as happy to sit there and crank that Soldier Boy.
To anyone who's not heard it, Ethan is referencing a joke made in prior episodes that probably deleted about his take on homelessness and how we should just put them to work.
Okay. We weren't talking about homelessness, okay? We were talking about renewable energy.
Yeah.
All right. And we were talking about how water spins turbines, how water essentially is the source of all energy almost, except for nuclear. No,
turbine spinning.
Except for wind energy and solar. That's the only thing that doesn't use water. Everything else heats up water to spin a turbine, right? Okay, so my point was, we have this huge homeless problem. Why don't we take the homeless people and tell them, hey, crank this turbine here, and that'll produce energy.
If they get tired, they got a little water bottle with meth in it.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, you can drink it and it's effective. Yeah. You don't even have to tell them.
To add an extra layer to this, Ethan had methamphetamine addiction.
I did, yes.
So anyone thinking we're just two people
for a very short period of time.
Yes, and Ethan's like, I was so productive.
I thought I was.
Ethan's like, I could have cured
I definitely
all the problems had they not arrested me.
I definitely could have cranked a turbine for a day, easily, and been fine with it. Put a TV on and give me a turbine. I'll be like, oh. Sorry, Mom. Clip that.
All right, let's end on that point. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for listening to this trading tangent. We went all over the place. We touched on a lot of topics. Our general rule of thumb is you should be able to talk about anything, anything and everything, as long as we're actually approaching it with kind of inquiry.
It was only 3 months, okay.
Yeah, he could have gotten so much more done had he hit that 4-month mark.
Oh yeah, I'm sad I got Take
2. No, just kidding. All All right. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Follow us on the things. We're going to be posting more interviews coming up, hopefully. We got some interesting people lined up, so stay tuned for those. Check out our other interviews. We had some interesting characters on. We've had Braden and Mickey on, and then a little more serious, we had Brian on.
Mhm.
That was a good
Mhm.
one, too. Shout
Yep.
out to Brian. And we got some more people lined up. I'm excited for you guys to see them. So, hit the like, share, subscribe, hit the follow button, do all the do the things. You know the things by now. We've been saying, everyone's been saying it for 10, 15 years.
We have an Instagram page too, where we put a bunch of like short clips on there too that are just fun to watch, kind of.
Yep. So follow us on Instagram. I think we do have a TikTok now. I posted a TikTok.
Oh, I don't have TikTok. I will not download that.
All right. Well, I had to, so it sucks. But we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I have no idea how to check the metrics.
Has TikTok been bought yet?
I don't know, but we can talk about that next time.
Okay.
So, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.